Hello Wolfpack. There are many indicators on Bitcoin that have been historically used to find the Bitcoin macro bottom that are triggering the bottom and indicating that the bottom is in right now. We're going to be asking the question in this video, looking at the macro time frame, whether or not these indicators are still valid or not. Because as you guys would know, we're going through different market conditions. We haven't seen a recession on Bitcoin before. We haven't seen any kind of bad macroeconomic situation over a long period of time in the entire price history of Bitcoin before. And so is looking at these indicators that were used previously during quote-unquote normal times to predict the bottom even valid anymore, right? Taking a break from the shorter term, we know what's happening in the short term. The CPI number release will be happening in 6 to 7 hours from the time this video gets out. That's going to determine the short-term price direction. There's going to be a lot of volatility. I don't recommend you trade it. Basically, if CPI comes in higher, market's probably going to go down further. If CPI comes in lower, market's going to see some relief, right? That's the essential situation for short term. And this is why this topic is so interesting right now, because obviously, with CPI numbers having, a chance at coming in lower than 8.6%, I personally don't think they will, but if they have a chance of coming in lower 8.6%, that means that, hey, maybe we've seen the macro bottom at 17.5K. Because if those CPI numbers come in lower, they come in at, say, 8%, right? That's a sign of reversal. And that might be a sign of reversal for Bitcoin as well. Now, obviously, I have my opinions about the 4-year cycle. You guys know that very well. I'm a big believer in the 4-year cycle. 4-year cycle theory, I'm not going to bring it up right now, but 4-year cycle theory essentially predicts, as per date range trends, that Bitcoin's going to bottom out in Q4. I've brought it up many, many, many times in previous videos. Not going to do it right now. And so, no, I don't think the bottom is in by default. However, I need to be talking about some of these indicators, right? So first and foremost, these are indicators that Crypto Crew University and many, many, many other analysts, right? Not just him, many, many other analysts have pointed to and said, hey, the bottom is likely in, right? I don't know if Crypto Crew University actually said that, but he said it's very much a chance the bottom is in here due to these indicators, right? So what indicators do we have here? Well, first and foremost, we have the Pi cycle top and bottom indicator. And second of all, we have the MZ Bitcoin oscillator, which obviously does basically the same thing as a Pi cycle top and bottom indicator. First and foremost, let's take a look at the Pi cycle top and bottom indicator. What we can see is that generally speaking, when we get this Pi cycle top and bottom indicator, and when we see on the Pi cycle top and bottom indicator, the green line cross underneath the red line, we see the bottom on Bitcoin, right? It happened right here. I'm going to zoom up in just a second. Bang, right on the specific day there. Green line crossed on the red line. We saw the bottom on Bitcoin in January 2015. Okay, again, it happened in 2018 during the bear market. The green line crossed underneath the red line. On that exact week, we saw the bottom in December 2018. And then again, it's happening right now. So essentially, happened in 2018, happened in 2015. The Pi cycle top and bottom indicator predicted perfectly, marked the bottom perfectly on both occasions to the week. And that trigger will be happening again sometime within the next couple of weeks. And so it would stand to reason that using the Pi cycle bottom indicator and top indicator, using the historical data that we've derived from it, it would stand to reason that the bottom on Bitcoin will be coming in within the next week or 2 weeks, meaning the bottom will likely be in at these current prices, or we might see a very, very, very quick scam week to the downside before the bottom is in, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean the bottom's in at 19K. It doesn't necessarily mean the bottom's in 17K, but it does mean the bottom will be in within the next 1 to 2 weeks, right? So that's one indicator. I'm going to be looking at the validity of that in a second. But then another indicator, as we said before, is the MZ Bitcoin oscillator. And what we can see is that every time the MZ Bitcoin oscillator prints these green rectangles, we see the bottom for Bitcoin. Right? It printed a green rectangle here, the bottom came in, right? It printed another fresh green rectangle here, that was the secondary double bottom in the 2015 bear market. It printed a green rectangle here within a matter of weeks, the bottom was in on Bitcoin. It printed a green rectangle during the COVID drop, and again, it was in on Bitcoin. It did have a fake out here, right? So it's not entirely perfect. It predicted, it printed a green rectangle. We didn't necessarily see the bottom there, but it has been predicting, it has printed a massive green patch, right? There's 2 green rectangles stemming from May 2022 all the way to now. And in fact, it's got even more green, which means it's even more confident the bottom will be in soon. So, yes, it hasn't been as precise as it was back in the day. back in 2015, it was very precise. Back in 2018, back in 2020, very, very precise. Right now, it's kind of losing its touch a little bit, and it's predicted that the bottom will be in very, very soon, ever since May, and obviously it's July, and we've gone down much more since May. But those are two indicators that are predicting the bottom is in. So I'm going to go for another traditional indicator that predicts the bottom is in. That indicator would be the CBBI, right? The CBBI is basically using various on-chain metrics to determine where the Bitcoin bottom will be. This is getting incredibly close to where it thinks the Bitcoin bottom is, right? Essentially, it uses price cycle top, various things, the fuel multiple, 2-year moving average. We've got a reserve risk, many things. Willy Woo from Twitter, he uses one of his things as well. It's got Google search terms for Bitcoin, and it is coming very, very close to a bottom, and will probably be reaching a bottom within the next 1 to 2 weeks as well. So those are the traditional indicators that have predicted and are predicting that the bottom will be in not only this week, but probably within the next 2 weeks, right? So there's various indicators on Bitcoin, reliable indicators that have been used for years and years and years, that are predicting the bottom's in, or at least very, 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 very close to being in on Bitcoin. And this lines up pretty well with the CPI numbers coming in. So my question is, and the thing I'm going to try to answer is like, can we trust these things, right? And my answer is no. I don't think we can trust these things. I'm going to tell you why. My answer is this. We cannot trust these indicators because the only times they have worked is in normal macroeconomic situations. And so using indicators that are primed and conditioned and created to work in normal macroeconomic situations when there is minimal negative outside effects on cryptocurrency is illogical, and they are illogical to use in times in which there is very, 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 very negative macroeconomic effects on cryptocurrency, right? They are conditioned, they're created, they've been programmed to be used in regular times when there's no macroeconomic effects on crypto, no negative effects on crypto. Right now, we are not in normal times in which they've been programmed to use in, and so we should not be using them. We are in unique market times, and we need to find unique ways to predict the bottom. This is why I am not confident in any specific price point, price region for a macro bottom on Bitcoin. I am only confident in the date range. I'm confident in a Q4 bottom on Bitcoin, which means October to December. As for the price point, I do not know. Why? Why don't I know that? Because in trading, in investing, the only piece of evidence we have ever is historical data. We have no historical data that has ever mapped out what Bitcoin does in a traditional market, bear market, once. We have no data. And so predicting the price point is statistically very, very, very unlikely. And logically speaking, using rational argument, it's very, very, very illogical to try and predict the price point because we simply have no data about it. Even when you break down trading to this, even when you break down trading to specific triangle formations, specific channel formations, specific wedge formations, the only reason we know those wedges and channels and all that kind of stuff works is because of the historical data that we've gathered over long periods of time that says, okay, that's going to break out to the upside 70% of the time, that's going to break out 73% of the time, that's going to break out 67% of the time. It's all historical data, right? So we have no historical data about the current situation Bitcoin's in, and so using indicators that worked in the past, well, they're not going to work now because we don't have historical data to map the situation. We're in uncharted territory. I say that all the time, and I say it for a reason. Uncharted territory means we probably don't really know what's going to happen next, right? So that's the situation for Bitcoin. And why, how can I prove this? How can I prove that? Well, here's the first thing I'll use to prove it. The best macro bottom indicator on Bitcoin, the best and most straightforward macro bottom indicator on Bitcoin, you're not going to get any better than this, is the 200-week SMA, this green line here. It marked the macro bottom on Bitcoin all the way in 2015, all the way in 2018, all the way in 2020, without having 2 consecutive weekly candle closes below it. We rode this for support for 16 months in total in the entire price history of Bitcoin. We have lost it, right? That was the single most effective traditional method for finding a Bitcoin bottom in a regular traditional market period, and it has been lost. So who's to say that the other indicators will not be lost? Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to look at a few things before we end the video. First and foremost, let's look at Wolves of Crypto VIP. Now, you guys would have seen my community post on YouTube. I'll check it out for you guys right now so you can see it. We pulled up about 3 short positions for the VIP group, VIP members in the last 48 hours. and we got an accumulative profit of over 100% on just 1x leverage, which means if you use 10x leverage on these trades, which most people probably do, that's a 10x in 48 hours. We've been pulling mad profits on Wolves of Crypto VIP, and I'm excited to pull even more in the coming days as the volatility ramps up, because volatility leads to good trades, right? That's just how it works. So if you want to join Wolves of Crypto VIP and get access to these trades, as well as many more things as listed here, including market psychology video, access to my charts, priority reply to comments, and exclusive emojis and badges just to show off your loyalty, and it's just a little cool little perk there. That's for 28 USD a month. You can sign up using the join button on my YouTube channel homepage. I'm excited to see some more of you guys there. We've got about 200 members, so become one of the Alpha Wolves, or the VIP members. I like to call them Alpha Wolves though. So become one of those. Moving forward a bit further, we've got the BitGet exchange. Half the fees of Binance, non-KYC, which is great for tax reasons and also great for hiding your identity. When you're facing government regulation on cryptocurrency, Australia has pretty harsh crypto regulation, so it's great. And then also a reward system in which you can gain access up to $4,000 in rewards for completing a simple few tasks. It's a no-brainer. You're going to sign up to BitGet using my referral link in the description below. It helps out the channel and it helps out yourself for your future trading endeavors. Sign up to BitGet using my referral link in the description or pinned comment below. And lastly but not least, in fact, not even close to being least, this is the Become a Trader course. This is the most important thing in my opinion. It's a 10-unit course on how to become a trader, how to learn TA for yourself, right? If you find yourself scouring through YouTube, scouring through Twitter, trying to find out what to do because you don't really know what's going on, you don't really know how to read a chart, you probably shouldn't be in the market, right? You need to learn how to trade. And you can do that through Crypto Academy's Become a Trader course, developed by myself and Megawell Crypto. You guys would know him by now. I work very closely with Megawell Crypto. We made 10-unit course here, 450 slides, 86 videos, I think, 8 worksheets and 1 trading diary teaching you how to become a trader from step 1 to step infinite, right? This is going to take you from any level of experience to a level of competence not seen in any other course. Chuck us an email here at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with an informational video that shows you the course, shows you exactly what you're buying, and also payment information. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you tomorrow where we'll discuss the CPI numbers coming out. Thanks. Cheers.